Welcome to Prepare Your Shelf. We're so excited to be talking about books that are coming out on June 17th?
17 tomorrow, yes.
17th. I don't know what day it is, so that's helpful.
That's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm the marketing manager here at Schuler Books.
I am Amy. I'm one of the buyers here at Schuler Books, and we want to help you prepare your shelf.
Prepare your shelf. Yep. Amy's going to start?
I'm going to start. Okay, so my first recommendation is called This Princess Kills Monsters, The Misadventures of a Fairy Tale Stepsister by Rye Herman. This is being pitched as The Princess Bride meets Shrek. So it is a sister who is the least magically powered, who keeps getting sent on these missions by her stepmother. It is a retelling of the Grimm's brothers, The 12 Huntsmen, which I'm not super familiar with. But basically, she's ordered out to marry this king who she doesn't know. And there's all sorts of weird mysteries going on in the castle. She goes undercover as a maid. She gets rescued by 12 eerily similar looking masked huntsmen.
Okay.
And it's strong, independent female character, sort of getting rid of gender roles, doing what she wants.
Do you know if it goes more towards like Goofy Princess Bride or Dark Grimms?
I think it's more goofy. I think it's more sort of satirical, cozy fairy tale retelling.
Got it.
So funny. It reminded me, the description reminds me a lot of the Enchanted Forest Chronicles, which is an older series, but Princess Cimarine doesn't want to be a princess and goes off and lives with dragons. That's the vibe I'm getting from it. Plus the cover is absolutely gorgeous.
Nice.
So
love that.
Yes.
All right. My first one is The Poppy Fields. And I brought Show and Tell to show you that it has pretty sprayed edges, a very nice end paper, and we have some signed copies, which is always exciting, and I can't get to that page.
If you can find the signature.
It's in here, I promise.
There it
is! So this is The Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlich, and it is by the same author as The Measure, if you are familiar with The Measure, which that one was also speculative fiction. So this is a high concept speculative novel that asks the question, what if there was a cure for a broken heart? And it's following this group of like very different strangers who are coming together because of a kind of natural disaster, but they're also trying to all get to the same place, which is these poppy fields, which are kind of pitched as a way to like speed up the process of grief, where you can kind of like sleep through it. And I don't know if that works or not. And I'm not sure if these people know if it works or not. But it's a kind of like playing out the concept of what if you could skip over the hard parts of grief and brokenheartedness and kind of find a shortcut to better.
Interesting.
Which I think is really interesting, and I think will bring up a lot of interesting questions and thoughts about who we are as humans.
Sounds like a good book club book.
Yeah.
Feels like it could come up with some interesting themes about how we deal with grief and whether or not you have to go through the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For sure.
All right. My second recommendation is a nonfiction book called Dispersals on Plants, Borders, and Belonging by Jessica J. Lee. This is classified as a nature essays book. It's a collection of essays, but it incorporates memoir and history and nature, similar to if you read World of Wonders, which was really popular a couple of years ago. But this is talking about what happens when plants leave their original homes and put down roots elsewhere. Excuse me. And how does that apply to the human world? So there's so much movement around immigration, migration, travel. What happens when we try to settle somewhere where we weren't necessarily put? And it looks at both plants and humans and what can we learn about both? Just what it means to inhabit our world. It looks very interesting. And I love a good collection of nature essays because I'm getting into my plant era. So I like to learn about new plants. And I like the crossover between sort of human nature and plant nature and how we're connected.
For sure. Cool. All right, my second one is called Mob Queen by Erin Bledsoe, and I love Erin Bledsoe. This is her second book in this category of historical fiction, but she writes books about Women Behaving Badly.
She wrote 40 Elephants.
She wrote 40 Elephants. Yes. And she's a Michigan author. We've gotten to meet her in person, and you can meet her tomorrow night, Wednesday, June 18th in Ann Arbor if you want. She's doing her launch event about this book, Mob Queen. Anyway, Mob Queen is set in the 1930s. And this woman escapes an abusive father situation in Georgia and moves to Chicago. And she marries this man who also has a violent temper. And she also finds escape from that eventually and ends up working as a waitress in this restaurant where the mob hangs out.
Okay.
And so this woman is kind of dealt a lot of bad hands.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting setting. It's in this restaurant with this mob presence in the middle of the World's Fair, which I don't know about you.
Love a World's Fair.
I love the World's Fair. It's just so fascinating. It's a fascinating setting, and I'm just always interested by it. Anyway, and so things happen, whatever, and she ends up, instead of distancing herself from the mafia, becomes a mobster.
Amazing.
And so Erin does Women Behaving Badly, or women doing what they need to do to survive really well. Like, maybe they're not the best role models, but
a little bit of morally gray.
Yeah, they're doing their best. They're working hard to escape the bad hand that they've been given, and you can really root for them along the way, even if they might be tangled up in a lot of messy things.
I love it. I love it. I have one little bonus one, if I can throw in an extra, because it's me and I can't limit myself to just two. There is also a new biography about Toni Morrison that is coming out. It's called Toni at Random. And this, rather than focusing on her literary work and her writing, is talking about the time that she spent as an editor at Random House, and sort of the impact that she had on amplifying Black voices and Black culture in the literary world. So that is getting a lot of really good buzz. So hopefully you can pick that up too.
Nice. Thanks for joining us.